Hello, I'm Craig Heffernan. In this video, I'm going to show you how I built a 2-level pool deck using all maintenance-free composite material from Trex. The railings will be white composite with black aluminum balusters, and the lattice is capital style by Trex Lattice Works. The decking used is pebble gray, and I didn't forget to cover all my joists and beams with Trex Protect tape. The existing deck had a bad foundation and the frame could not be used for this new design. I start by removing all the rails and then the deck boards. It's always good to have friends help on demolition day, and I do reclaim all this good lumber from this deck on other projects. These 2x10s are still solid and in very good condition. Before I can start the layout of the foundation holes, I must first remove parts of the siding to locate where the posts and framing bands are going to go. Now you can see where the new deck frame bands are going to be attached, and the center of the post is marked. From the center line of the post, I measure over 6 foot and mark. Then I measure over and mark 8 foot on the line away from the house. If you measure diagonally from 6 foot to 8 foot and it reads 10 foot, it's perfectly square. The bottom deck is 12 by 12 and the upper deck is irregular at 226 square feet, including the staircase. The total for both decks is around 370 square feet. There are over 20 posts on this deck, and I marked them all with a string line, nails, and paint. To see a detailed drawing of this deck, go to craigheffernan.com. I rented this one-man auger for the day to drill all the holes. The cost was around $70 for the day, and it came with a 12-inch wide by 3-foot auger with a 1-foot extension. It's still strenuous work to use this power auger. You still have to use hand tools to remove the rocks and loose soil. So it's always good to have help on this part. By code, the concrete footings have to be set at 48 inches into the ground, so the auger and the extension must be used. To be on the safe side, make sure you temporarily cover all your holes with some scrap plywood. Come on, little buddy.
Oh.
The deck footings are going to be made of concrete and set in the bottom of the hole below the frost line. I pour 4 quarts of water in the hole first, and then I add 60 pounds of dry concrete mix. Then 1 more quart of water, and I mix up with the post hole diggers right in the hole. All the treated lumber is here and I'm ready to build. The posts are rated ground contact and are able to go into the ground. But I like to add this asphalt tar coating to give the posts a longer lifespan. Make sure to leave the bottoms uncoated. This lets any moisture in the post drain at the bottom. To start any deck that is going to be attached to the house, you must first get the siding out of the way to make room to set your back deck bands. The siding that was removed will be able to be put back later. I use this grease and water shield to seal off any spaces that are left on the existing house wall and floor frame. To set the 2x8 band on the upper deck, I first level over 1 inch down from under the pool cap, and then on over to the house. This sets my elevation for all my framework. The back bands are put into position and just tacked for now using nails. And this nail is the only help I have today to help hold the other end. To permanently set the top band to the house, I'm pre-drilling a 3/8 of an inch relief hole, then driving a 1/2 inch by 5 inch lag screw right into the house studs. For the bottom level deck band, it's going to be through bolted, starting with a 5/8 of an inch hole drilled right through the house band into the basement. Then I use a 5/8 of an inch carriage bolt with a washer and nut right through the hole into the basement. This will definitely secure this back band. Before I install the metal flashing, I use tape for extra precaution. It separates the metal flashing from the chemically treated wood. After I install the flashing, I cover it up with some more Grace ice and water shield. Starting with the 12 by 12 area first, I attach the side band to the front post. I am making sure the band is level and the post is plumb. I'm using pass load 3-inch ring shank nails. They are exterior and ACQ approved to use on treated lumber. The nailing pattern is 8 on all the non-bearing side bands that have no bolts. I cut down all the 4x4 railing posts at 39 inches above the floor, and all 12 posts will be covered with a Trex post sleeve. Another 2x8 side band is measured and cut the same length as the first side band. It is placed into a Joyce hanger and fastened permanently with 3-inch galvanized nails. When the front bearing band is installed, it's nailed with 4 nails on the end joints, and a 6-nail pattern is used on all the posts with 2 middle spaces left for bolts. It's nice to have the post holes dug at 12 inches wide. This gives me plenty of room to adjust the post. I've laid out the Trex decking with marks to locate exactly where the center deck board will end up. I want the center deck board to cover the entire 3-inch width of the beam. With the post the beam bracket already nailed into place, it's now ready to accept the double 2x8 beam. Now we're ready to start the upper deck. From the house band, I am leveling over to mark for the 16-foot front band. There is one post on each end and one in the middle. The two spaces left are perfect to use the 8-foot Trex railing kits. The two side bands can now be installed, making sure they are leveled over and held 1 inch below the pool cap. This gives room for the truck's decking. The posts along the pool are figured and cut 1 inch below the pool cap. They are also notched 7 3/8 of an inch deep for the 2x8 pool bands to set into. The 2x8 bands are cut to 15 degrees and nailed into place. As you see, this beam is fastened to the side of the 4x4 post, and then these concealed joist hangers are added to support the 2x8 doublers on each end. And then it's blasted with more nails. These are called joist deck ties, and they will support the beam along with two 5/8 inch carriage bolts. All the posts are in the ground and setting on concrete. Now it's time to fill and tamp all the holes with the dirt I removed earlier. Make sure you fill and tamp the dirt real good. You don't want settling that will create a water pocket around the base of the post. You can add water after you fill and tamp to really get the dirt settled and packed tight. This landscape fabric is 4 foot wide, and it will eliminate anything from growing through it. The fabric is perforated so the water will dispense evenly into the ground without getting it muddy. The crushed stone is added to help hold down the fabric, along with controlling the weeds and water drainage, and it'll also look nice and clean under there. The 2x8 doublers are added to the front band using concealed joist hangers. This will definitely support the floor joist. I use water sealer just on the posts, so the hot sun doesn't dry them too quick, which causes warping and twisting. The floor joists are laid out 16 inches on center on the front band, center beam, and back band. You'll be putting 36 of these joist hangers on the lower deck alone, and you'll need to use the widest piece of 2x8 scrap to set them all. Since the beam is splitting the 12-foot frame, I need to cut the 2x8 by 12 foot in half. The beam is a little offset to accommodate being completely covered by a deck board, so the fronts are bigger than the backs. To help you understand more, you can get a complete, accurate frame drawing and material list at craigheffernan.com. And please subscribe to this channel to be notified of my upcoming deck videos. It's free. Each joist going to the pool band is going to be measured and cut different. One side is square and the other side is angled. Don't be scared, you can do it. These are adjustable angle side hangers, and they're used on all the angle cut ends of the joists. They are stronger than they look, and they do the job with all the nails in place. The other end will get the standard 2x8 joist hanger. This is the last joist, and I'll say it's the hardest cut on the job. The angle is very aggressive at 65 degrees, but when you get it right, you feel like you can build anything yourself. Be sure to see part 2 of this video when I show you how to install the pebble gray Trex decking. I'll also show you how to install the trans end railing with the black spindles and the 4-foot high aluminum safety gate. There's plenty of information on how to build these stairs and this step. But most of all, you won't want to miss Capital Lattice by Trex Lattice Works.